the heck is that? What the heck is that? Heart of the heart of the matter, moon and the soul hear chatter, revealed in the trees and the wind. I'ma let it go, let the butterfly flutter. In 2024, I hit an absolute rock bottom. Not the kind of rock bottom where you can get a good night's sleep or receive a pep talk and feel better the next day. The kind where you look around yourself and think, how the did I get here? Where nothing, absolutely nothing, resembles the dream that I once had. I used to be on top of the world, being part of South India's first pop band, signed with Sony Music, the glitz and the glamour, camera, lights, action. It was everything that a pop star could dream of. And yet here I am, left in the rubble of what it was. They say that life is not about the right or wrong decisions. It's about the choices you make, the lessons you pull out of their aftermath, and the courage to pivot. No matter how far off you've strayed away from the original path, it's all part of the bigger picture. Yeah, and I'm getting very philosophical. But the truth is, I wasn't even supposed to be an artist. When I was young and in school, it was a typical Indian household. I was studying to become a biotechnologist, a forensic scientist. I was a nerd in school. I was a topper in school and did really good in my academics in college. And I was well forged on a path to becoming obsessed and buried in the secrets of our genes and DNA. That's the plan that I had for myself. But you know, life had different plans for me. It was unpredictable, wild, and sometimes a little cruel now when I look back at it. This is a story of how I went from chasing a career in science to standing under spotlights, to performing at the Wembley Arena, to being in front of the Staples Center performing live over there, to losing everything and now fighting back to rewrite my narrative. It's a story of choosing to create despite how terrible the odds were stacked against me. So let's start at the beginning. But before I do that, let me tell you something. 2025 is going to be different. This time I'm going to do things out loud. I am going to video journal the process of me rebuilding my career, my songwriting career, my career as an artist, entrepreneur, DJ, not because I am really good at it, because I'm not. I really want to document the raw, unfiltered journey in real time. The wins, the losses, the stumbles, the lessons, all of it. Something in me is asking me to do it. So here I am, recording to my camera. You might ask why, and I might say because I want to hold myself accountable. And sharing my story publicly is not necessarily to find my voice again, but it's also to find my people, the ones who get it, the ones who understand the chaos and the sacrifice and the beauty of trying to make a living as an artist. We often only see the success stories. We don't see the failures. And right now I feel like I am well forged towards my path towards failure, and it's all in my hands to not really fail. And I'm not ready to give up yet. You know, this is my way of reminding myself that every little step that I have taken in the past, I've been taking in the present, and I am well set up to take in the future, is all working towards a bigger picture. So I want to tell myself that the only way I am truly going to fail is if I give up. And trust me, I have thought about giving up so many times, because being an artist is not for the faint of heart. But what if instead of taking the rejection, the disappointment, and allowing it to define me, what if I use it to fuel me? right? Like, this is just my perception of my career. And your perception of my career from the outside, having 1 million listeners on Spotify and having so many songs of mine out there and having an account, a social media account that's more than 10,000 followers, which is not, in the bigger sense of the word, not too many, but at the same time, for someone who's just starting out, that's a big number. It might look like my career is not bad, but for me, in my perception of it, is through the filter of my own definition of success, it looks like I can do better. So that's why I want to get on this journey, to put all of my doings, my creative doings, my personal doings, and anything that's related to my art out there in public. And I want to use all of that rejection, that disappointment, that failure, to fuel me, like to really fuel me like a rocket to go all the way up to Mars, like Elon Musk would. All right, not deviating from the topic and bringing you all back. This year, I am flipping the script. I'm definitely going to get out of my own way. I'm going to stop being my own worst enemy. A lot of you might relate to me with this regard, because oftentimes we are the only people in our own way. And I'm definitely going to stop doing that and bring my awareness to that action, that thought, that word, those words that resonate in my head, and step out of my own way. Turn myself into my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, my biggest investor, because no one else is going to fight for my dreams as much as I can. So I am going to set that precedence. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. If you're a creative person, 2025 can be yours too. And it all starts with working on yourself. That's the simple truth. It was the biggest realization for me, and I know a lot of the younger generation is already well versed with this. They're equipped with the tools to understand this in a much better scale than my own generation, or I should just speak for myself. I just recently started taking care of my health, my relationships, my career in a way that is resonated from inward to the outside world, rather than allowing the outside world to resonate into what I consider to be success. So I started working on myself. 2024, I devoted a lot of my time to making sure my health was on top form, focusing on building relationships and networking and building my net worth and things like that. So if I were to give you one piece of takeaway from my lessons from this year, I'm shooting this in 2024, so it would be, start with working on yourself. Whether it's your craft, your mindset, your health, your relationship, or just getting back into believing in yourself, invest in you. It's the best decision you'll ever make, and this I can tell you from experience. So what can you expect from this series? I am going to be talking about being authentic in my art, a raw, unfiltered look at my journey as an artist, entrepreneur, a dreamer, no sugarcoating, just the real deal. And number 2, I will be talking about my lessons from the failures, like transparent stories of missteps, rejections, setbacks, and how I'm using them to fuel my own comeback. Creative insights, strategies, tips, and breakthroughs. Emotional honesty. I am going to document the ups and the downs and the moments of doubt, because at the end of the day, I'm human, and we are so tuned by society to only see the successful stories that a lot of us get seriously depressed and also end up having anxiety because we're not able to keep up with our own expectations for ourselves as well as other people's expectations. And the one thing that I have learned is nobody else cares. We are just thinking that others care about us. We are the only ones creating these narratives in our head, and that is something that I will be talking about a lot in this series. The inspiration to keep going. the inspiration to keep going, proof that starting over isn't the end. Unless we decide that this is the end, it's never the end. If you are breathing and if you're able to come up with things that you can build and do and create, then it's never the end. Building a community, like invitation to connect with others who understand the challenges of pursuing a creative career, step-by-step progress or digress, or a step-by-step process of the whole journey, practical takeaways, tools and advice about turning creativity into profit, managing your time, staying motivated even when it feels impossible, a shared journey. This isn't just my story. I know a lot of creatives who struggle with the same struggles that I am dealing with, and oftentimes we are left without other stories that don't exist about the same struggle. So I'll be sharing my journey and also finally hope for the future. Like, it's a reminder that it's never too late to reinvent yourself and chase what sets your soul on fire. So I am here to do exactly that. In the next video, I'll take you behind the curtain, where I'm really starting from. Financially, economically, emotionally, creatively. Financially and economically are kind of the same thing. So it's all going to be documented. And yes, this is very, very nerve-wracking, but I want to do it for myself. It's not glamorous, but it will be real. And maybe, just maybe, you know, you'll see a bit of yourself in my story. So see you in my next video. And until then, stay aware, stay focused, and stay creative. Bye.